That is so interesting, man. So every once in a while when I'm trying to go live, it just won't. Every once in a while, it just don't want to. That's just what it is. And so I end up having to hit the restart button again and again to get it to go. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right, there we go. I feel a little bit better right there. Oh man. Oh, I'm well, not. I don't feel like I'm centered. I need to get centered. Hold on, where am I? Where am I centered at? Where's my centering? Let me hold up. Get this. What you call it over here? There we go. That feels a little bit better. Let's see what the is showing up on my screen yet. Joe, what's going on? Senator Dave, Veracruz Azul Riviera. Now, how does thing say I'm not live yet, though? That's interesting. Hold on, let's see. There we go. Now it's showing them live. There we go. Turn the volume down on this thing. This makes it easier for me to keep up with this thing going across the on the phone, man. To see what's happening. Because I got the pay-per-view up in the distance here showing up. So I'm like, even though they're not actually doing anything yet, I am just like, you know what? Let me go ahead and pull it up just in case. Um, but yeah, man, Joel, that is actually an interesting one. Gian, Yo Gator, Moyle, why you following me? Y'all two be tripping, bro. Senator Day, French Avenue Arch. Arch is one that I was like, oh, okay, that sounds pretty cool, but I wasn't really like, okay, I just got to go get it and bring it in. But I think I am going to go ahead and get it and bring it in. Just to have. I actually got a chance to smell it a couple days ago. Why is this light so freaking bright in my face? Hold on, let me see something. Um, but I got to smell it um, about a week or two ago, and I like it a lot. So I think I am going to go ahead and bring it in. Um, just looking at some of the people that's walking into the arena right now. Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be a nice little pay per view tonight. But yeah, I decided to go ahead and get it in. At first was kind of like, don't know if I'm gonna do it, don't know if I'm gonna do it, don't know if I'm gonna do it. But now, yeah, let me go ahead and do it. We'll go ahead and knock it out, man. Um, just got finished doing the review for this, and eventually I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing edited and uploaded. This, of course, is the Rayhan Pacific. Um, I have decided to go ahead and knock out the review. So, um, I like this a lot, man. I am a fan of it. The problem that I have with it is that, um, I mean, no, it's not really a problem. So it's kind of linear when it gets into the dry down a little bit. But it's not a bad fragrance. I think, like I say in the review here, just a spoiler alert here. Um, I think this is made more for um, your higher humidity areas. It's a little bit of a drier, fresher take on the Pacific Chill DNA. Um, that being said, I like it a lot. I do. And now I was also when I was doing the review, kind of like, okay, I need to make sure that this is not recency bias, and I'm going, oh, it's drier in comparison to some of the other versions of Pacific Chill that I've experienced recently. So I actually took the original Pacific Chill, and I was like, okay, let me do a compare and contrast. And I mean, it is drier than the original. I think that's gonna be more utility for some people though, man. I think, like I said, higher humidity areas, people who just want like a freshness. Because some of the things that I did learn about that DNA is that not everybody loves it because of the fact that it does have that kind of pungency at the opening. Some people who were like, "Ooh, tropical fruits, I love it," they're down with it, man. But some people who just kind of want to, they're thinking that it's going to be like a super fresh, I mean, it's great for warm weather and hot weather, but if you're looking for something that's going to be super fresh as far as the summer scent, that pungency at the top kind of throws it off a little bit. Don't get me wrong, it's a fresh scent, but it's not like that. That pungency can really kind of mess with people. So I think this one has like a unique way of opening up and making it a little bit fresher. So it does have utility when I'm looking at that compared to like the rare reefs of the world or the um, Jean Lo vibes of the world or the French Avenue Pierces, not Pierces, French Avenue Penises of the world or the uh, coastal breezes of the world. Um, the other thing that I learned about this is that I have far too many inspirations of Pacific Chill. As you see, I just literally pulled down five, and then I have like the original. I have like a like got 30 mil of the original. So yeah, you know, you when you have that many decants of it, and I mean that many inspirations, and then you have a decant of it, it's kind of like to be completely honest, I love the DNA, but because I've been kind of on this mission to kind of find a good inspiration, sometimes, guys, I take it on as my own holy mission, right? Not that I'm sitting there saying, "Oh, I need another inspiration or this or whatever." I just try to find a better inspiration. I got to find a better. No, because I have the original. My whole goal in doing stuff like that is just for the chase. It's for the thrill of it. You know, I like to be able to compare and contrast. That's one of the things that I do. I don't need a lot of the DNAs that I have. Well, actually, that's not true. I do have a lot of inspired buys. I got a lot of the real originals as well, but I don't mind doing inspired buys because I'm always kind of searching and looking at, for information purposes. What are the better ones out there? I like the comparison. I like the study. I like the, looking into it and doing the research on the fragrances and all that kind of stuff excites the scientist brain in me. You know what I'm saying? It incites that the teacher brain in me, um, in the researcher. I'm what they call an S personality on disc, which is, I'm a stat person. I'm always looking into um, the patterns and, those things like that. So, I love the actual research. I'm one of the people who loves the research. So, I don't mind doing it. Really don't mind doing it. And I like that. I really do. Hey, sometimes you find a gem, you know. Um, that one is an example because I think that's going to be good for like higher humidity as opposed to like a rare reef that you know as far as humidity wise it may not be the go-to. I think I would rather have Pacific Aura in a high humidity situation than rare reef. Not saying rare reef's not bad. I mean, not good, because rare reef is awesome, but I think that there is a different utility with Pacific Aura as opposed to Rare Reef. Um, by that same token, I look at this one, which, spoiler alert, in my opinion, and people are gonna hate me for this, people are gonna throw me under the bus for this shit. But in all honesty, this one comes closer, in my opinion, to the real Pacific Chill. It just takes on more aspects of the original, the way that it progresses. It takes on the watery nature as it goes, because Pacific Chill is not an aquatic fragrance. It's watery, but it's not aquatic. There's a little bit of a difference between the two. The aquatics are more like a watery, but they're a little bit denser. There's a little bit more of a depth to those, as far as like the difference between like a watery, kind of free flowing kind of type of vibe to a fragrance. But yeah, it takes on that. The fruit blend is slightly off at the top of it, but then as it starts to dry down, the apricot starts to pop out of there, and it becomes a lot more close to what the original is than most of the other inspirations are. So, yeah, just my 2 cents. By the way, guys, I was on a rant the other night, and I'm going to continue my rant here. My local beverage store had one job. One job. And that was to make sure that my Anejo Cristalino was in stock, right? One job, one job. Couldn't do it. So now I get stuck with the rot gut. And if you don't know what rot gut is, hood hood term, that's that stuff that you drink just because you ain't got nothing else to drink or you can't afford something else. Didn't have my normal, so I just picked this up because I was like, well, y'all getting it in on Tuesday? Okay, cool. We'll go ahead and I'll wait till Tuesday to pick up that bottle. It's like 60 something dollars. I'll wait, to pick it up. I'll just get the $15 and keep it moving. No, I shouldn't have did that. I should not have done that whatsoever. Did not work out in my favor. I'll say that. All right, let me see what's going on in the chat right quick because I do see people in the chat here. All right, say Kid Panda, what's going on? He said, yo, I have some big questions for you today. Man, bring them on, man. Bring them on. Stack Boy say, how you holding up? HBD Lane, Rest in Heaven Lane. Yeah, man. Stack Boy, if y'all don't know, that's my brother, man. That's my brother Big Lives, man. Today is our mom's birthday, man. That's part of the reason why the name of this particular live is Sunday, one day, someday. That's just kind of like, I don't want to get super, 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 super emotional about it, but it's always a rough day on July the 13th, man, because that's my mom's birthday. And, she passed back in 2013. And, it's always kind of it's always rough on that day, man. And how you holding up, by the way, bro? You know what I'm saying? I gotta ask you how you holding up because I hadn't called you yet, but I was gonna call you in a little bit to check on you. It's always a rough day, man, because when you lose a parent, it's sometimes it's expected, especially when they're older. You're like, okay, well, you kind of the inevitable is gonna happen eventually. With my mom, it just kind of happened all of a sudden, like just randomly out of the blue. She wasn't sick or anything like that, man. And relatively young. It was kind of a rough one. It was rough, man. But uh you never forget it, you know. Um there was a quote from WandaVision, man. Vision actually says it in WandaVision, and this is gonna be it sounds weird, but it's one of the most profound quotes that I've ever heard someone say, and it came from a Marvel property. Vision, told Wanda is like, "What is grief? You know, but love persevering," and that makes so much sense to me, so much sense to me, man. So it's you get down in those, in them days like this, and you're little down, but at the same time, you know that all that is just basically, you kind of that love that you have for that person is still kind of persevering and still going on. So that's just what it is, man. So it's definitely one of those things where it's a good day to celebrate who she was, and I tell people that all the time. She's on, you can't really see because of the TV right now, but that's the picture right here, to shade that thing a little bit. She's gonna be with me everywhere I go. So you know um you're always gonna be kind of watching over. It looks like these bottles are actually closer than what they is, but they're not that far. I mean, not that close to the picture, man. But yeah, man, it's with the sunflowers and everything. Her favorite flowers. So yeah, man. Yeah. Everybody's like, oh no, but yeah, man. We're here to celebrate. Everything that I do is a celebration, of everything that she was and still is to me, to everybody that knew her and was around her. So shout out, man. Shout out. Let me get back in here. So don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Yeah, definitely, everybody. As that boy say, try to keep the mental busy. Yeah, you got to, man. You got to, man. You got to. Kid Patton says, so I went to my niche fragrance store, tried MFA Baccarat on skin as well as Zhezhov Naxos. The juice was lighter than some review vids. Also smelled oud maracuja. Is it me or similar to Ombre Nomad? No, it's not just you. There's a lot of folks that do make that comparison with the two. Um, let me circle back to the Baccarat. Um, Baccarat is an interesting thing because they call it the smell of Atlanta. But because it's one of those things, especially in the hood. I joke with people all the time. I've had this happen to me so many times when I walk by somebody and I smell good or something like, or I smell strong, or what I'm saying, people can pick me up, and the first thing they'll say is, oh man, you smell good. That's Baccarat. Like I'll wear the furthest DNA from Baccarat Rouge, and people will still like. I was wearing, what was I wearing when I was in the store that night, and somebody was like, is that Baccarat? It was something what was it? It was, shoot, what was it that I was wearing? It was something super duper fresh. I want to say it was Aqua Dubai. I think it was Aqua Dubai that I was wearing. And this girl, like, you could hear people talking, and it's like, "Oh yeah, you smell." So she walked up to me. "You smell nice, man. Is that Baccarat?" No, that is not Baccarat. Nowhere near, man. So yeah, so it's always a hood joke, man. As far as Naxos changes color. Like it looks one color, but as that thing develops, like within a year, that stuff starts to get darker. So a lot of times when you see people um, that are, showing it in their vids, a lot of times it's darker because it's been sitting. Some of the bottles are brand new and it'll be darker, but I think that's also from it sitting for a little while. Or just not being sprayed very often, or been sitting in a batch that had been stored for a minute. Let's see. But Oud Maracuja and Ombre Nomad, very similar. I happen to like Oud Maracuja a little bit more, but very similar in the way. I think that you're looking at more of an oud vibe coming from Oud Maracuja, and more leathery vibes when you're getting into the Ombre Nomad. Also, the fruits are a tad bit different, but they're also very much those ripened, subdued style of fruits, and that's probably the other like comparison that your brain is making to. Yo, 2K, what's going on? I said, keep your head up. Much respect. Senator Dave, Bulgari, Ohm Extreme. I appreciate that, yo, definitely. And Bulgari, Ohm Extreme. Nice one. Nice one. Yep. Stat Boy said the funeral was a celebration. It definitely was, man. It was all in pastels and everything, man. Definitely. And Kid Panda said Penhaligon's Halfetti leather on strip and Mate Pierre Falcon leather on strip too. Honorable mention is Nasamato Duro. Duro is good. I had to stop you right there. Duro is really good. And then lastly, Dior Extrait de Parfum. They only come in the 80 Ombre Nuit Dots. I mean, you're talking about like which one do I, would I rather? I'm a big fan of the Duro, man. Halfetti leather is good too. Um, Ombre Nui, yeah, okay. But my favorite out of that bunch that you mentioned is the Nasamato Duro. Definitely. Falcon Leathers, okay, cool. It's cool. Penhaligons, I like the regular Halfetti, and I like the Halfetti Cedar too. Not as much the leather. Not as big a fan of that one. Let's see. Kara, what's going on? What's up, getting silly today? Mudan Eclipse. Said fire. And I got to put my nose on that one too. He said, I've never liked Baccarat, but I love Instant Crush. That's okay. You just brought up something that a lot of people have mentioned, and it's sincerely a Mancera thing. There are people who are very much a fan of Instant Crush, but not Baccarat. And then there's the opposite that love Baccarat and hate Instant Crush. But what I've found is either you love one and hate the other, or you hate this one and love the other. But nobody likes both. And I don't know why that is. It's almost like they beefing. It's almost like the people who love Cedroc Boise and don't like Aventus, or love Aventus and can't stand Cedroc Boise. It's basically that argument. And like I said, it's a Mancera thing. I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of people, man, that just do not like vibe. Like if you like Instant Crush, you just don't vibe with Baccarat like that. I know a lot of people like that. And I think it's just because of the way that Baccarat is. It feels like it's so generic after after you smelt it so much, and that was the big thing a while back. It just feels like any variation on that DNA is welcome. Say, Stack Boy, that's my way of looking at it. At funerals, I rarely cry on the sad because I like to think of the hood time, the good time. I know good time, but the hood time, we had hood times too. I'll tell you that much. With that person, those times should be cherished. Yes, definitely, definitely. Ryan says, off topic, what case is that? Kadabi, wait, what case we talking about? Hold on, what case? I got to see what case we talking about. I might have something that clarify for me on that one. Oh, you talking about the case on the phone? This is one of the what kind is this? This is like it's an I think it's an otter, but I can't remember. I'm looking to see if I see the writing on it. I had to ask my wife. My wife found this one for me a while back, and it was green. So Gator green, got to go with it, man. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna have to put that in the chat. Let me see. Lastly, I don't have any PDM Wujan versus Altair as a first. Altair, because Wujan to me is more of a holiday scent for some reason. I just pick up holidays. When I think of Wujan, I think holidays. I think of baked goods and things like that. I think that as much as you could call Airtel versatile, I think it's a more versatile fragrance than Wojan is. Altair's not all that versatile either, but it's a little bit more versatile than Wojan. Although I like Wojan a lot as far as the fragrance itself goes, I just think that Altair is a little bit more versatile. Ryan says Aqua Dubai is nice. Yeah, it is. It is nice. And you know what's weird? I hate when people compare it to Imagination because technically it's not. Like if you smell the two side by side, they're not. It's not the same. Especially when it gets into like further dry down, completely different fragrances. Completely. It just has that little airy kind of gingery pop at the top, and people instantly. It's almost like when people talk about pineapple fragrances, right? When people every pineapple fragrance is what? Aventus. Oh, it smelled like Aventus at the top. No, not really. It doesn't really. It's just that it's got that pineapple in there, and so people are instantly associated with that. Because Aqua Dubai has kind of that gingery, soapy style and nature at the top, people instantly start thinking Imagination, and it's not really. But all as a fragrance on itself, as itself, it's really good. Joe said, "Good time." Yeah, I knew what you meant. But Frag Jitsu, what's going on, man? Hey, I need to holler at you too, man, because I wanted to see what you thought. It was one of the fragrances you picked up recently that I was gonna ask you about because I'm thinking about bringing it in. Let's see. Frag Jitsu says it has less saffron, more vanilla, musk, light amber. Yeah, yeah. Kara says, Mancera is my favorite house. I love them. Got like 20 Manceras. You already know how I feel about Mancera. You already know, man. So here's the crazy part. I I was not gonna bring in cherry cherry. I was waiting on explicit vanilla, but I may go ahead and bring in cherry cherry. And the reason why is the weirdest reason of all. I remember I saw Ross did the interview. He was like, "This is kind of like cough syrup type cherry," and I was like, Yeah, that might be what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna bring. I'm looking for cherry fragrances. I'm gonna bring in that Infinity. I think you mentioned that, Cara. The Montal. Um, I have Cerezo Daiquiri from Sphinx already coming on the way. And then what's the other one? There's another cherry one that I come. So I'm gonna do kind of like a cherry fragrance haul. 'Cause I want to try to get in some good cherry fragrances for the winter. I think I'm gonna be on a cherry fragrance kick this winter. Because I don't really have a whole lot of cherry fragrances. I mean, I have the Dantiques right there, um, which is the um cherry smoke inspiration. I have that one, and I think I have. Oh yeah, I got Delicios. I'm also trying to get the actual Fev Delicios. If my partner comes through with it, that's discontinued for a minute. If my partner actually comes through with it, I'll have Fev Delicios. That's what I really want. I really want Fev Delicios. After dealing with Frenetic and really liking how and being able to smell the original and be like, oh, this is close, but it's not quite there. I want the original. He said, I've been debating on Fig Me Up lately after hearing the videos on it. I still can't imagine what it smells like. Anything similar to it to you? I got cherry on the way. Yeah, I was just talking about cherry. So Fig Me Up to me is kind of like um if you were to take this Evoking Foy or just the original DNA, the God of Fire, right? If you took that, you took all of the mango, all the passion fruit, all of that kind of stuff out of there, and you replaced it with plum in a little bit of a subtle like fig background. That's really what you get, and then you get like a toffee in the base of it to kind of help sweeten it up. It's nice. I recommend it. I've been like, me, I've been platforming for it. Ross, he was like, yeah, you said that, and it is that good. I really really like it. I really really like it. Let me see. He said at the pool. So, Ryan said at the pool. So, city today, Full House. Full House is my favorite inspiration of imagination. I got Marwa coming, but in all honesty, I don't see how Marwa's gonna be any better. I don't. But hey, it could be. We're gonna see. We're going to see. In fact, you two said I was in Astoria, Queens, New York yesterday. I smelled Rouge DNA three different times, and ood for greatness countless times. Yeah, those DNAs have become so kind of like commonplace, and now I've gotten to a point where I want to explore stuff that not everybody is wearing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to do stuff now. I do a lot of the inspired buys and stuff like that are coming, but at the same time, like the stuff that I buy for like personal wear stuff, like I try to make it stuff that not everybody's wearing. And I say personal wear, I mean stuff that I want to kind of diversify the collection a little bit with. For example, that Thomas Kosmala neon, the number 4 neon. That's one that's coming. Room 1015 Wave Child. Although Wave Child is picking up a lot of momentum recently. I mean, people are talking about Wave Child a lot, and they should. It's a good fragrance, man. I think Thomas Kosmala number 4 Neon is going to be another one that people are going to start really, really talking about a lot. I got that Tom Ford, the Eau d'Ombre Leather, which Eau d'Ombre Leather, it feels like nobody talked about it a lot. But I love that fragrance. That fragrance is amazing to me. That's coming. The As a matter of fact, I got that should be here probably next week. And along with Wave Child. Um, oh no, not Wave Child. Kosmala number 4. I'm waiting on the price of Wave Child to come down on the site that I usually order from, and because every once in a while it'll come down. and I think it's going to be probably coming down a little bit. As soon as it comes down, though, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on it. But I want to try stuff like Tulum Junglescape. I know Joel, we talked about that before. Tulum Junglescape, I had a chance to actually get a decant of that one and wear it a good little bit. That stuff is amazing. I love it when I talk about that pungent, that overripe fruit type of vibe. That's amazing. I really like that. I saw Jordan, man, the Giant Moss, man. He was mentioning Sal y Limon, and that's another one that I've got like on a decant order because I want to put my nose on that. There's another one, Griesque, that I have over there that I like. It's got this weird like minty, like oriental style of mint vibe, but then it kind of dries down into almost this like savory kind of vibe. That's another one. I'm just kind of really trying to, open the palate a little bit when it comes to smelling different fragrance DNAs. Because you get bored, man. Let me see. Phone case. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out which phone case it is, man. I know what it is, but I just can't remember it. I'm gonna have to go in the room eventually and kind of dig up the box. Kara said, I ordered Cherry Cherry last Friday and Frag by still has not shipped it. I bought it before Ross review on it, so I hope I'm gonna like it. He didn't care for it. Yeah, I know Ross did not care for it. He did not. Um, Fragrance Net is weird too because I watched Joel's comment and said, "Cara, I seen that lately. Should we just taking more time to ship?" Fragrance Net for me took like 1 week before shipping after I bought it. From they're here in Atlanta, and they've got a New York office too, but they're here in Atlanta. So usually Fragrance Net's not as bad for me. But one of the things, Joma Shop's been low as far as like their shipping. Um, I get a lot of my stuff now from my new store in Miami, and they're pretty fast as far as shipping goes. I usually get product within like 3 days. Um, Fragrance Net usually I get product in about 2 to 3 days, and it's because they're right here in Atlanta. Then Labelle Parfums is another one that's right there in Miami. Their shipping times are usually not that bad. Now, if they're shipping into Canada, from what I'm hearing, it's hell getting stuff from Labelle coming up through Canada. I don't know if that's a fact, but just from stuff that I've heard going on in the community, just a little chatter that I've been hearing. BMJ, hit me up anytime. You have my number. Yeah, bro, I'm gonna have to hit you up, man. I'm gonna have to hit you up. Kara says, I mean, Aqua Dubai is a clone of imagination. That's why people tie it to it. It has the same notes. I agree. It doesn't smell exactly like it. Well, I mean, Aqua Dubai has like vanilla and melon and stuff in it. And those things kind of really pop out as they kind of get into the dry down a little bit. One of my favorite notes is petitgrain. And one of the things I like about it is that it really integrates that petitgrain as it kind of goes into like that dry down. But you start really picking up a little bit of that vanilla sweetness. So it doesn't have the tea that you would find in Aqua Dubai. I mean, in Imagination, but that vanilla and melon combo actually served to kind of smooth that thing up and lighten it up a little bit. Allows that petitgrain to come in, and it gives it kind of like to me, it kind of grounds it a little bit. And I think that's why, especially when I think it's so much, it has so much a compliment factor because of that vanilla. For some reason, vanilla, even in like low doses, it just kind of hypes up the compliment factor on fragrances for some reason. And I think that's what it does in Aqua Dubai. It's one of those things where it's not even like a huge dose of it. But as you go into that 2 to 3 hour dry down, it's definitely popping. It is definitely popping. Let's see. You see, I think it's an amazing twist. It is an amazing twist. I like it. And you say that affinity is fire. That's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing that affinity is fire. So I think that's probably I am gonna get it. It's not even a probably. I am gonna get it. Beauty of Sip, what's going on? Hey, what it do, man? We outside, man. Be outside. It's hot. I was inside because it's hot outside. It's hot as hell outside right now. I think what's the tip here in Atlanta right now? 91 degrees. So yeah, 91 degrees. And let me tell you, it's not just hot outside. So I got the pay-per-view that's kind of playing in the background right now. Is they're doing kind of a lead up into the pay-per-view, but that's at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, right? Right next door is Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and Beyonce has a concert at Mercedes-Benz tonight. So you got a WWE women's all women's pay-per-view in one venue, and about 100 yards to the west of it, you've got the Beyonce concert at the Mercedes Benz. Bro, traffic is gonna be dead. It's deaded. This is one of those nights where I'm glad I don't drive Uber right now because it would be deaded. Of course, I'd be out there trying to get that money, but it would be deaded right now, man. But the heat that's being transferred out there right now is legendary, and I'm glad I am not a part of it. Let me see. Kara said, I'm definitely on a cherry kick right now. In love with it. I got a few cherry samples on the way. Have you tried Cereza Daiquiri from Sphinx? That one I actually like. It's interesting because I didn't think I was gonna like it that much when I first got it. But like when I sprayed it on and got a full wear on it, that stuff just kind of it's it's got that natural froth, that frothy kind of sweet vibe that most of the Sphinx fragrances have, but it has the way that it imparts the booziness and that cherry in there. It just sits perfectly on top of it, and it's nice. It's really nice. Oh, other cherry, and I think this is unintentionally cherry. This guy, Royal Blend Bourbon. Yeah, cinnamon, chocolate, cherry, all that good stuff. This is like my wife said, it smells like those Mancera, those alcoholic candies that they sell in Europe. And when you open it up, when you first spray it on, this is exactly what it smells like. It smells like one of those candies. Like literally, you can smell the rum in this. Like, and it's not really like a super boozy, like oh, this is alcoholic. It's not like Stefan Umber Lucas type boozy, but it's definitely got a boozy background to it. It's definitely got that really candy, chocolatey style of nature to it. And then as it dries down, man, it becomes cinnamon toast crunch. Like legit, it becomes cinnamon toast crunch. Which for me, because I love cinnamon toast crunch, I'm not that mad at. I'm not really that mad at. I got Sequoia should be here in the next week or so too, because I'm trying to, as you see, I got the all the royal blends except for Nero because I gave Nero away, but because I got too much of that DNA, man. Because I got Camera, I got Sharaf blend, um, and a couple of other like versions of that DNA. I ain't need it. So, but Sequoia is supposed to be Paradise, Angel Share Paradise. So I definitely want that one. I want to keep that one on the top. So, I'll have all of the royal blends up there. And then I got the Fierte Luna coming. I've been hearing some mixed reviews on Fierte Luna. I was a big fan of Fierte, even though it has a afflicted. Yeah, let's get a afflicted bottle. Oh, come on. Um, Sorry to bombard you with my ass and stuff, but this I like this fragrance itself. This is probably one of the better inspirations of Baby Cat that's out there. A little bit more on the vanillic side as it dries down, but really, really good. Very, very, very good. It kind of softens up the saffron hit that you get in like a Reefer, and that's good. It kind of gets more towards the blend of the actual Baby Cat, so it softens it a little bit. Reefer Cat's really good too, but it goes a little heavy on saffron and makes it a little bit spicier at the top. But it does kind of make it that leathery nuance really pop. This one is a little bit smoother as far as the way that it plays out. Um, and I like that though. This one's super mass appealing as far as like the way that it I would say more mass appealing than the actual baby cat. And I think again, we're talking about vanilla, that vanilla just getting imparted in there kind of helps it out move a little bit. Um, I like this a lot, but this is baby cat. Luna is Naxos. And from what I'm hearing, my guy Vegas Sense was he did a review and he was like, bro, it's and he told me he was like, man, I hope I just got a bad bottle. He was like, man, when you get it, let me know what you think about it. Cause I got thoughts, I got doubts. So I'll have some doubts and thoughts about it in the next week or so. Hopefully it's not that bad though. Hopefully it's pretty good. We'll see. We shall see. Um, but I trust my guy, man, Jamar. I trust him. So if he said it's got some problems, we we in for it. Let me see. Carl said Joel Fragball. I can't say Fragball. Fragball had that big sale. They usually ship it in a couple of days, but I think they backed up. Fragball probably is backed up right now. Somebody was saying that it was tariffs, and the tariffs shouldn't even be affecting that stuff. So yeah, that's just people just throwing it out. um, Beauty says, "How you like that Galaxy phone?" I love the Galaxy phone. Matter of fact, I loved it a lot more until the last update that they did, and then after that, I hated it for about a good solid 2 weeks because I had everything set in place, and they went in and changed the security features, changed everything up. So it was like weird, but now it's kind of gotten back into place. It's not overly charging everything. My phone ain't going out in like 2 hours of use. So I actually like it a lot. I like it a lot. I recommend this phone definitely. Gabriel, what's going on? Gabriel Cologne, Selectum is Caspian Cherry is great. So I hear. I hear it's really good. Let me put that on my list too. I've heard people mention Caspian Cherry. I need to. Dang, I ain't got my pencil. We'll type it on here. Caspian Cherry. All right. There we go. So that way I can remember it because I really do want to like cherry kick. It's gonna be a cherry kick this year. It really is, man. And it's because, cherry has never been like, at least not in recent memory, cherry hasn't been one of those like fragrance notes that people have been really like embracing, like, oh my gosh, this is what I want. So the change up is great. Let's see. You say I'm gonna get me a sample. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're gonna work on that. Yo Yo 2K said, I see that Care Pistachio bought it to give it away, but I'm keeping it. I like Care Pistachio. I like it. I like the original Keali, the Yum Gelato. But I like this one a little bit better because of the fact I feel like it works better off my skin. There is kind of a little bit more of the rum that amplifies off of my skin in this one than it does in the original. Now I'm interested. I got to put affection on skin because when I smelled affection, there was one that I was like, that's really nice too. But I think the next actual pistachio fragrance that I get is gonna be latte pistachio, that new notes. Because I did a decad dive on it, man. I fell in love with that stuff. That stuff's good. Latte pistachio is really, really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably bring that in. Um, you just said novice knows, do you wear dupes or just buy them to review for the channel? It depends. Like I wear them sometimes, especially if they're really good. Matter of fact, I won't even say sometimes. I wear them a good bit. Most of the time, I'm reviewing stuff for the channel anyway. So I'm always wearing something to review it. Like I was just mentioning this at the beginning of this live, is that I love the art of reviewing. Like I love being able to break down fragrances and research them. And this is what this does with this fragrance. This is why violet paired with this does this. This is why this with this does this. This is why, and it's really there's really like scientific method to the way that these perfumers put together these fragrances. And it's one of those things where dabbling in the science of it, and I'm gonna have my own. I'm kind of soft working on putting together a fragrance right now, but well, actually, not one. Uh, but just kind of playing around with a couple of different concepts or whatever. But I am really into the way that fragrances present, how they present, why they do what they do, all that kind of stuff. So, me research and do this is why a lot of times I don't mind knocking a dupe out, to the point to where like I've worn, for example, salt. Like I got a review coming up on salt, right? You see the dent that's in that bottle? A lot of that dent comes from the travel spray. But then there's a good bit of that dent that comes from me literally spraying. Okay, it developed for about an hour. Okay, this is what it developed for about an hour. I see what's going on. Let me respray it. Okay, let me work and write some notes on it and do this. I have notes on every fragrance that I review. So it's like I make this one, for example, I've worn this fragrance maybe 4 times. Look at the dent here. The reason why it has such a dent, well, part of it is the travel spray, but the reason why it has such a dent is because I literally, this is one that I found that, okay, well, you go anosmic to it after a certain amount of time. I timed it at, an hour and 38 minutes that it actually, you go anosmic to it. This is one of those, you know what I'm saying? It's that type of thing. And it gets, if my brother's still in the chat, he'll tell you, I've been a nerd. You know what I'm saying? I'm like the most hood nerd you'd ever see. I was in the trap house, we cutting up weed and everything, and I'm sitting there, I'm cutting up weed on the top of an encyclopedia, and I'm telling people, hey, look, so I was just looking this up and such. You know what I'm saying? Like that was what I used to do. So it's at the age of what, 9 or 10, Stack Boy, like Big Live, like I sat there one summer and read 2 whole sets of encyclopedias just because I could. I'm a researcher, so I do that just as a research thing. I don't mind doing it for the research purposes. So that being said, most of the stuff I wear will be dupes because I'm always researching them for reviews. If it's a dupe that I'm reviewing, because sometimes it's not a dupe I'm reviewing. Stuff like Mandarino de Sicilia that I got a review coming on. Still Life in Rio, Mont Blanc Legend. I've already reviewed that one. Some of these things up here, Ex Vetiver, these things like that. They're not necessarily dupes. So I guess that was the long way around to saying it don't really matter to me. Because not only do I wear it just to smell good, but I also wear most of my favorites for research purposes too. You know, but if there's a DNA that I like, that I want, that's out there, that's just not like a clone or whatever, I pick it up in a heartbeat. I don't mind doing it. You know, Matter of fact, I love doing it. There's a lot of them up here that are not that, that are definitely not like dupes and things like that. One of my favorite fragrances this year or last year, Invictus Parfum. Gentleman Extreme. I got Ombre coming. The Briones, of course, the Apollos of the world. All those. Those are stuff I like. Let's see. I like Sunrise on the Red Sand Dunes, Intense by Zara. It's a twist on imagination. It's interesting because the original one was, to me, came across as like a little overly citrusy. I haven't smelled the intense version yet. So the original on the Red Sand Dunes was interesting. To me, it wasn't quite imagination, but you could tell it was inspired by it. The intense I haven't put my nose on yet, but I hear that they tried to go in and really kind of amp up the ginger on that one. Like they freshened up the ginger note, and they actually added in a little bit of like the tea. Um, because the original didn't have really that same style of like a tea that the actual imagination had. But I'm interested in putting my nose on it because I did see that. Let's see. Fragility said, I'm rooting for you to go deep dive into the niche artisan indie world of perfumery. For me, it's been incredible, a whole new level and a new appreciation. Yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of them that I'll smell. Like I got a lot of decants that I've smelled, right? Um, and I will do that. The only issue I have is that I only this is just a personal thing because I don't have any problem with people that do. I'm one of those people who, I'll usually only review the full bottle, and it's not because I have the full bottle. It's just because I want to do a full review. Okay, this is the bottle presentation. This is what the atomizer does. This is what this has. This is the color gradient. This is I prefer to do those style of reviews. Now, this is part of the reason that I started doing the decant dives was so that I could do basic first impression slash reviews on fragrances that I don't have full bottles for. To just literally have a decant. Let's run with this, and up front it's a decant dive. I can't tell you nothing about it, but how it smells. But my reviews, I kind of want those to be more okay. This is the full presentation. This is what we're doing with this. This is this. Like and that's to my detriment because right now I've got a bunch of stuff. Like that's what took me so long to smell Tresoros because I had Tresoros for 2-3 months before I smelled it. Like, and I should have smelled it a lot earlier because it just sat there on my desk. One of the other fragrances I got sitting on my desk right now that I really need to just go ahead and open up. Because right now I got too much on the desk, man. I did another review standing up. I really got to clean this desk off. Like and not clean the desk off is like, oh no, I got too much going on. It's just so many different decants and stuff that are sitting over there. Um, I might do it now. Heck, you guys do it with me. This is a special day. Y'all do it with me. And Sip Bubble gonna be like, damn, bro, because man, we had been talking about this one. We talked about this one on the phone. This is as you see, I ain't even unwrapped this thing yet. This is Ormond Jane Vetiveria, right? Um, and shout outs to Parfums de France. I actually had them. They sent me, one of my guys over there sent me a decant of it out of the bottle. So it wasn't in the presentation that what you call it has for it. That Ormond Jane has for it. So they sent it to me in the what you call it, you know. Um, but yeah, this is Vetiveria. And so it'll be sitting. You know how long this has been sitting on my desk? This has been sitting on my desk probably 2 months. No, maybe a month and a half. Not quite 2 months. Maybe a month and a half. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one right now because while I'm doing this though, let me go get caught up in chat. Let me see. Say blue is the color. Chelsea are champions of the world. I saw that come across my ESPN feed there, Mo. It said, so I got to wear a blue frag, YSLY, EDP for the win. That's not a bad blue frag to go with. Mo says, I'm not into cherry, but ones I like, cherry smoke. Yeah. That Don Teeks is a cherry smoke clone. Rouge smoking extrait. That's not bad. Caspian cherry, I really need to put my nose on. Still don't like it enough to buy. I want to try cherry punk. So, Room 1015, like I said, I'm getting Wave Child, but Cherry Punk keeps coming up on the radar. I may have to look into it. Alexandria Cherry Flames is the best cherry fragrance I've ever worn. I got to look into that too. So Cherry Flames, that don't sound bad at all. Cherry Flames. What is that inspired by? It's an Alexandria, so I figure it's inspired by. D Boogie, what's going on? Gator, happy Sunday, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Stack Boy said facts way before the internet. Oh, you talking about when I was talking about me reading through encyclopedias and doing all that kind of stuff? Yeah, because like that's just me. That's just me. You know, that's just me. I'm a researcher, So, if there was anything that I didn't know, and like I said, my brother's in the chat, he tell you, if there was something I didn't know, oh, I was gonna find out. I'll sit there and research and do, and he know because he actually watched me sitting there going through the encyclopedias, just reading. People, my cousins and them picking on me because I'm outside, you know, identifying the clouds in the sky, and okay, so this has a water vapor makeup of such, and I'm just breaking down, whatever, just based on that. So yeah, man, it's just me. So that to me, the review process is a joy. Like that's the joy for me. The fragrances are amazing. The review process is even more amazing. I wouldn't even say more amazing. They go kind of equate to each other, because I love putting my nose on new fragrances. But you know what I love even more is when I can sit back and analyze those inspired buys and stuff, and not even the inspired buys. Sometimes just the regular fragrance, just to analyze and see how the perfumer did what they did. Those are things I like to do because I'm a nerd. Uh, freestyle left for EK. I only wear Brute. You sound like my daddy. Like I only wear Brute. Brute ain't bad. Brute is the original Dior Sauvage. Brute is the original Dior Sauvage. Just saying. It say keep us posted on the fragrance you're working on. Yeah, man. I'm kind of moving in a direction on that. I'm not even gonna get into it a whole lot, but yeah, we'll y'all see. Keep us posted on the fragrance you're working on. Yeah. Joel say, how's it going? Oh, you're talking to Joel, yeah. Stack Boy, Big Live say, LOL, I blame Reading Rainbow. Yeah, because I was a Reading Rainbow fan back in the day. Butterfly in the sky. I'm telling you. All right, so this is Vetiveria, right? So let me see what it's going to be about to do here. See what Vetiveria says. Let me get a little. I don't even. Is it Atomized work? Oh, snap. Okay, come on. There we go. All right, I was about to panic. Like, dang. Okay. Okay, it's not. I'm not even catching it on the strip right now. I'm just catching it in the air, and already in the air, man. I can smell the smoky. So this is a nice style of vetiver, but it's not like I could compare it to like an ex vetiver that I recently did. This is not a clean vetiver. This is definitely a smokier style of vetiver than you would find in like an ex vetiver. The ex vetiver is more of a safe buy. This is not like a safe buy if you were talking about doing a vetiver fragrance. So this is actually has a depth to it. It's smoky. A lot of times when you think about smoky vetivers, what you're talking about then is your Java vetiver. Your Java vetivers are usually a little bit earthier. They have a little bit more of a smoky nuance to them. Haitian vetivers tend to be slightly smoky but slightly cleaner, a lot more clean than what you would find in like a Java vetiver oil. And I'm wondering if that's what's in there. It could be that. What I got on my skin, I got nothing but Pacific Aura. Well, Pacific Chill over here, and then Pacific Aura over here. Okay, let me do this. Mood watch. All right, that seems okay. All right. Let's see. Caught it on the bitch of the knuckle here. Let's see. So far, this is my jam. There's a brightness that comes up in this thing too. Not really mineralic, but I'm associating it almost to a mineralic style of vibe here. Hmm. And it immediately kind of, and it's not mineralic. I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of another word right now. Okay, so Joel, you'll appreciate this when I say this. For some reason, I'm picking up kind of, it's a peppery style of vibe, almost like a teamer. Like when I think about teamer, the first fragrance I think about is Bois Imperial, right? And not quite to that aspect of it, but I kind of picked up almost that style of kind of vibe. But it does come across kind of peppery, kind of spicy. But the depth of this vetiver that they're using, and I don't know if it is a Java vetiver, but it's grassy, but it's definitely got like a smoky backbone to it. This is good. This is green but smoky. And dare I say, I almost feel like there's some kind of sweetness. Now I'm starting to get a little nervous with that part though. When I think about the sweetness, because I'm making sure that I don't have any of that Pacific chill going on my hand. But there's something in the background here that is definitely giving it like an even keel, so that it's smoky, but there's something in the background that's kind of reeling in that smokiness and kind of bringing about a kind of a man. Okay. I was trying not to do this. Note breakdown time. So let's get on the pay-per-view is starting. I see it. Vetiveria. Vetiver. Can I spell? There we go. So Armand Jane Vetiveria. Notes are I'm going through Fragrantica. Aromatic, citrus, fresh spice. I did pick up citrus. That's what I was thinking. It has some kind of citrus to it. But let's see. Top notes are lime, teamer. Oh! Pick that up. I knew I smell it. I'm getting the teamer. I was getting that from that like Blah Imperial. I was getting that teamer coming on there. Sage and juniper berry. That's why I like that. Middle notes are lavender. You definitely picked the lavender up in here. Orange, bellflower, and jasmine. And the base notes are vetiver, moss, rock rose, not sure what that is, and tonka bean. You know what? That tonka bean is probably where I'm getting that subtle bit of that sweetness coming. That's where it's coming from. That's gotta be, and it is kind of early, but I feel it's blended well enough to where I can still kind of pick up on my skin. Tonka bean really pops on my skin. So if a fragrance has tonka bean in it, you usually will pick it up. Well, I'll usually pick it up, and I do that. I'm proud of myself with the teamer thing. I'm definitely proud of myself with teamer because I picked that up. It was definitely that peppery, woody kind of vibe off the top. And like I said, the first thing I started thinking about was Bois Imperial, and you put me on that one, Joe. So when I that's why I was like, Joe, you probably know you'll be able to associate this when I say this that it kind of has that vibe to it. Yeah, but it definitely has the teamer. But let me tell you something. They don't really show vetiver as being like a big prominent thing. Like it doesn't show like multiple different vetiver oils and stuff like that, like an ex vetiver does. But let me tell you something. It's got to have multiple different styles of vetiver in here. It's given one vetiver, but the vetiver it is a clean grassy style of vetiver, but there's definitely some kind of importation of a smokiness going, which makes me think that they're using also kind of like a Java vetiver oil to go along with it. Now that could also be the moss that's kind of getting it in there and giving it a little bit of earthiness, but that wouldn't be giving it the smokiness. I feel like that smokiness is definitely coming from like a Java vetiver. Let me see. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's got to be. It's got to be. But yeah, man, this is nice. This is nice. This is really good, actually. This is something that I like. I like the citrus pop at the top too. I mean, you're a prerequisite. Anytime you do a good vetiver, you're gonna have to balance that good vetiver with a lime or a lemon, and the best are usually done with a lime. I think about like your vetiver sensuals and things like that. You definitely want to put that citrus at the top to really kind of balance that thing, to really add that bite in there, so that that vetiver just comes across just so like clean and ethereal. That's basically what we're getting here. I'm a fan. I am a fan of this one already. This is one that I am getting. I'm getting this expensive as shit, because I'm looking right now, and Fragranics got it at a 3.78 out of 5 with 37 votes. It's got juniper berry in it, but I'm not picking up. Oh yeah, maybe I am picking up a little bit of that gin style of, yeah, a little bit in the backbone there, a little bit in the backbone. Okay, this is getting got by hook or by crook. This one's getting got. All right, let's see. Let me jump in the chat because I see my guy Lou Dissel jumped in there. I'm looking at the at the screen, man. Lou Dissel say, "What's going on, Frag Frag fam, I should say." Let's see. Joe says, "Interesting." Yeah, man, it's actually really nice. It's really nice, Joe. And like I said, I give that credit to you on that one, because that's why Imperial was one of the ones that you put me on, and that's I can instantly identify Teamer because of why Imperial. Let's see. This is said, I'm late to the party. What's he obsessing on? Vetiveria. Ormond Jane Vetiveria, man. I like it. I like it a lot. It is a really nice fragrance, man. It's really nice. It's To me, it's not your everyday style super clean vetiver, but it's one of those that you could probably wear in the fall and have this. Like, I don't see this as being like, oh, I'm going to bust this out in the summer. You could, but it's such a realistic vetiver style of fragrance that I would be afraid that people would think I just came from cutting the grass and peeling lime trees. That being said, I think in the fall this is perfect. Early spring, this is perfect. Like, I think that those times of year are perfect for this. Why do they still have Lyra Vicaria coming out looking like goddamn sorceress from He-Man? Like real talk. Let me go on a tangent right quick. I like what they're doing to develop Lyra Vicaria, right? Valkyria, sorry. I like what they're doing with Lyra Valkyria. I do. And I'm talking WWE right now. So y'all just gotta bear with me on this tangent I'm about to go on, because it's real. So I've never been like, oh, Lyra Valkyria, oh my gosh, she's awesome, Ermagerd, right? But I know that she's a decent wrestler. She's actually pretty damn good when it comes to the actual wrestling part. It's the freaking promos that have been kind of weird. So then they put the belt on her. They put the Intercontinental Championship on her. And I get it. Okay, cool. She's a workman. We're gonna give her the workman title, right? They give it to her as the introductory champion, which I'm like, okay, cool, whatever we're doing, all right, whatever. No personality, nothing really. She's got the cheesy bird wings whenever she comes out with the woo, woo, which is such a forced thing with her, right? So forced. But okay, cool, whatever. They see this is happening. They see the crowd turning. So they throw Becky Lynch into this beef with her, right? I love that. And by the way, Becky Lynch is coming out right now in her big time Bex type thing. She's got on the fur coat and everything, which big time Bex is my favorite version of Becky Lynch. Like big time Bex is my shit. Anyway, so look, somebody got the big Becky Hogan sign at ringside. That's hilarious, by the way. But let me circle back here. So you put Becky with Lyra to go back and forth, right? You have Becky turn on Lyra, and it works. It nails that fire in Lyra. It literally starts to help Lyra with her promo. When you get paired with somebody like a Becky who's been in the game for a minute, they're putting you with her so that you can grow in certain aspects. Her issue was the promo. They started doing things to where she could light a fire under her, right? And it worked. Like Lyra's promos, Lyra has been the most entertaining in the last month than she's been in the last 3 freaking years of her career. Okay, cool. You do that and it works. You give her an edge. She's coming out beating ass. She's doing all of these different things. She's jumping Becky. She's going fisticuffs with Bailey in the ring. Like she's the one that don't take no ish right now, right? But then you undo that shit. Instead of having her come down with a new persona as far as like a ring interest, where at least she comes down and she's kind of like, just maybe raise the hand, woo, just get rid of the cheesy. You come out and have her in the wings still, where she's like pirouetting in the dang aisle with the wings, woo, woo. And literally that's what the song says, woo. Woo! And I feel like you do a detriment to her. You kind of undo all of the progression that you've made in her character, especially in this, because it's a freaking grudge match, basically, with Becky and with Bailey. She shouldn't be doing no kind of theatric wings flying and things like that. Just come down to the ring like, oh, I'm coming down to kick ass. That's all. That's all. That solidifies the star. But you go back to the cheesy, the part that really is disconnecting with the fans. And that part I don't get. Sorry guys, I had to go on a tangent right quick. That really upset me because I like the things that they've been doing with Lyra in the last like month. So for me to see that pissed me off. But anyway, I'm sorry. I apologize. This is a fragrance discussion. Yeah, so I know, guys. Lou Dissel said, gotcha. I like me a nice vetiver. And then Joe said, Armand James are expensive, but worth the money. So here's the one that I need to get. I need to get Verano. And every time I prime up to get Verano, it sells out. So I'm gonna have to just basically put something to the side and just be like, okay, let me pull the trigger on Verano right now and just get it. That's what we're gonna have to do. I've got I want to get Intensivo, but I mean, to be completely honest, I have Elysium, Dumont Elysium, and there's not that much of a difference. Not enough for me to be like, oh, I'm gonna get that one and spend the money on it. If they had a version of Verano, I feel like Dumont needs to do a version of Verano right now. They did such a good job with the Celerio Elysium that I feel like they need to go after Verano. If there was a DNA in freaking Ormond Jane that they needed to go after, it's probably that one. I feel like they need to go after that one. Joel said they should match the style of the wrestler with their natural personality. And I feel like they definitely should. And that's why I feel like it's so weird with Lyra. Like, I feel like Lyra mirrors Becky Lynch so much. I mean, they're both from the same country. They're, all that. And I think that's why Becky wanted to work with her. And I think that's, one of the reasons they were so good together. I think she sees a lot of herself in Lyra. Because Lyra, when Becky first came in, she came in like a green outfit because she's Irish and she had the leprechaun type gimmick and stuff. She's doing the jig dance and river dancing and shit, you know what I'm saying? And that was because they really was like, okay, well, we're just gonna, you're Irish. Yay, we're gonna make you Irish, embrace your Irishism. And it really wasn't Becky, it was the gimmick. And that's the problem here with Lyra. They're sacrificing Lyra to maintain the gimmick, right? That they can't continue to do that. It wasn't until Becky decided to just um become the man that, it kind of divorced itself from that, man. And as long as they do, they got the golden opportunity to divorce Lyra from that cheesy ass damn gimmick. Right now, they've got the opportunity to do it, and they not. At least it don't seem like it. Like, please take her out of the damn the colorful. Like her ring gear is not bad. I'm okay with her ring gear, right? But it still gives like I'm just here for the chick. Not even that. I'm not here for the check. She. They've got to give her an edge. Like her character is starting to have an edge, but her presentation has no edge to it. You know what I'm saying? Like her character has the it's they spent the last month really giving her character an edge, but her presentation has no edge. Send her out in all black or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, have her not have the wings, just march to the ring, upset and mad and ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's do that. Right now, she just still looks like Bird Girl. Let's develop the gimmick along with the attitude that y'all been spending the last month building with her. Just saying, man. Can you tell I was angry about that? Kyra said you need to do a live. Okay, you say you need to do a live where you just test a lot of samples. So that was the whole purpose of doing the decan dives, right? And I just hadn't been doing them recently because um I was trying to set them up for Wednesday nights where I would just sit there at the what you call it and do the decan dives and prepare for them. But I started getting like super busy at work. So it was just like really, really difficult for me to do it. I should be doing them like now. Like I just did Vitiveria, which I like a lot. And I'm really starting to pick up that sweetness from that tonka bean now. I pick it up. So proud of myself for calling the notes on that one. That's one of the things I also been training myself to start really being able to identify those notes and things and how they play. I'm not Aaron Terrence used yet where I'm like identifying the specific chemicals that they're using, but I know the multi that they use for like violet and violet leaf and things like that. I know some of those things now, so it's kind of like you can tell certain style of chemicals that are used. I'm starting to kind of learn those things. Does that even have a purpose? Not really. but I mean, it helps as far as like understanding why a fragrance does certain things. But yeah, so it's coming. It's coming. I'm gonna get back to the decan dive soon. Like I said, I had Tres Oros sitting there for the longest on the desk. I still got 3 day 3s sitting over there right now that are going to be on the decan dive, and I think I've actually smelled one or two of those already in store. I've got a Kajal Discovery kit over there right now. I've got Harlem Brands Discovery kit sitting over there right now. And that Harlem Brands has been there for like 2 months. And my girl is going to kick my ass because I haven't done her what you call it yet on there. Shout out to Harlem Brands, man. I got you. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And then I just got in some stuff from La Persona. They sent me a kit So I got to do the one for La Persona. Um, and my guy CK, he's like, bro, he'll put the eyes in the chat for me, like, bro, you good? You doing it? I got it. It's coming. That's probably going to be the DCAT dive I do. I'm actually going to have to do a DCAT dive on that one this week. Not really have to, but when people, I'm good with CK, so it's kind of like if people send me stuff like that, it's like I want to try to at least do that DCAT dive for them, when I can. Um, you say I got a couple of Kajal that would be cool for you to do. Yeah, Kajal's actually not bad either. Carl said no ATH needs to come down to our level. We don't understand what he's saying. Now to my final thoughts. You know what? I love listening to ATH though. Let me tell you something. ATH will be breaking some stuff down, and he'll be like, "Yeah, it was just amazing the way that they blended this together. This is fantastically done. It is a beautiful way that they've crafted the diaxamethol and da da da." And he'll be just like, just I mean, it's a beautifully crafted fragrance. I mean, the presentation is amazing. It's just up and down. It's just this is just such a appealing masterpiece of a fragrance. And he'll go, now it's my final thoughts. And then he'll come back and say, this one really isn't for me at all. The way that it performs is just brutish. I can't see myself wearing this. I can't see anybody wearing this, to be honest with you. It's like, but you just said it was a masterpiece. like like he is like the master of contradiction in those reviews, man. That being said, I love watching this stuff, man. He because he's going to be honest about it at least. And then I think that's the prop. This is why I haven't really dove into really that side of perfumery, because once you get into that side of it, I think you kind of lose a little bit. Well, I don't say that you do. My fear is that I would lose a little bit of the love that I have of the experience of the fragrance. If in my mind is breaking down the chemicals that they use to do this, and then what I'm saying, like I feel like that. Now I do that in a soft way now, but it's more like I'm not sitting there thinking about the actual chemical components and things like that. That being said, if I probably would enjoy doing that, in all honesty, because like I said, I'm a nerd. So I probably would enjoy doing it. Lou Dissel, Professor Gator. Yeah, man. So the name, so there's this whole thing, man. I have this whole persona and it's gonna be worked into some of the videos. I actually got like the whiteboard and everything that I'll be doing. And it's called, Professor Alligator Aloysius Beater, right? And it's this whole thing where I break down like the what a fragrance is doing in the air, this. It's like a minute deterred from a video or whatever. If I have something that's a little bit complex that I need to explain, like one of the I was gonna do it for this last video. Um, when I was talking about about rare reef, and I mentioned in that video something about the violet leaf and the way that violet leaf acts in the fragrance. So I moved away from doing it. But when I was talking about it, I started using the term diffusive, because diffusive is what it really is. Violet leaf is a high diffusive. So what it'll do is when you put it in certain fragrances, it does increase your sillage in that fragrance, but it also will kind of allow a fragrance. It's not like ambroxan push. It's literally just kind of allowing that fragrance to be a little bit more diffusive in the air, especially when you kind of use certain volumes of violet leaf in that in a fragrance. A light bit of violet leaf increases the sillage by a lot, but if you put a lot of violet leaf in the midst of a fragrance, many times what that will do is that will actually turn that fragrance to being kind of moving more into a floral powdery style. So it's just all about the amount that you're using in a fragrance. And it also opens it up to kind of makes the fragrance a little bit more aquatic, which is happening in Rare Reef. Not only is it giving it a little bit more of a diffusive tone, but it's also allowing it to kind of open up and give it more of an aquatic style. It's kind of a density, because what it does is it actually amplifies the other chemicals that are in there. Like I said, it actually gives more diffusiveness, but the aquaticness comes by the fact that it's giving diffusiveness. It makes those molecules pop off more, and because it's making the molecules in the mids pop off more, it's also giving about more of a density. Which most aquatics, when you deal with the difference between a watery fragrance and an aquatic fragrance, it's all about the density. Your aquatics will have more of a dense style of vibe, or presentation, basically, as they're popping off. The diffusion is a lot higher when you have the higher concentration of violet leaf in the mids, and that'll give like a more of like an aquatic vibe in certain fragrances. That's what's happening in Rare Reef. That's just like a soft version of that. And if I had the whiteboard there and I'd be sitting up there writing it out, yeah, I could do that. But in all actuality, no need to do that. All you know is that it's aquatic and smell good. That's really all you need to know. But every once in a while, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna jump in the bag and do that. um, it said that name is killer. So the name is Alligator Aloysius Beta is an old name. It's one of my old like rap name, stage name type things. But the gator that you see on my backdrop and on my all my other stuff, that's his name is Aloysius. That's my gator is Aloysius. And so when I bring up the alligator Aloysius Beta, it's kind of that's why I named him Aloysius, is because that was one of my old stage names, Alligator Aloysius Beta. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, craziness. I know. But hey, that's just me. That's just me being a nerd that I am. I'm about to go ahead and get out of here, guys, because I am about to catch the rest of this pay per view, and should be fun. I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do with this match here. I think that they're going to. I would hope that they put that belt on Lyra. I mean on Becky, and just have. I mean on Bailey, and just have Lyra lose it. Like literally, just have Lyra lose it, and come over to the dark side with Becky. Like I would love to see that. I would love to see that. All right, okay. This, yeah, I think that I just need they just need to develop her character more. That's all, man. They're starting to do a good job with it, and I don't know, this craziness. Is Becky hurt? I don't know if Becky's hurt for real. I'm sad that Seth is hurt. I'm super sad that Seth is hurt, because now I'm wondering what they're gonna do with that. Oh wow, did they get? Oh yeah, Becky got it. Okay, good. That'll make Lyra lose it. That'll make Lyra lose it. I like that. I'm here for it. All right, guys. I am out of here. I'm about to drink the rest of this rock gut right here, because this is rock gut. This is I can't wait to get my Anejo Cristalano back. This is some bullshit. But it drank. It drinks. Anyway, let me get out of here, guys. Peace out, everybody. Yep, that's right. Take care. This vetiveria is off the chain. Like, it's the way it's popping in the air. It's gonna get got. I like this. I like that. All right, guys. Y'all already know. I was waiting on somebody to say it, but I just thought about the fact that I can't hear if y'all saying it. Whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, make sure you make today the best day ever on purpose. Peace out. Love you, Lane.